Instinct and intuition. What is the difference? How does it feel different in our body? And there's certain times where, yes, we want to go with our instinct, our gut instinct. And then there's other times that it's intuition that we really want to tune into. But what's the difference? So we all have had those gut feelings, right? Those moments where we feel fear, or maybe it's an uneasiness. So that's that gut instinct. And then we've all had times where there's more of this quiet knowing. And that's what we call intuition. And so the gut instinct is an incredible part of our survival system. It's built to keep us safe. And it helps our whole body, the whole system comes on board in this survival mode. Okay, gut instinct, you sense danger, and it will help you. This whole system will help you to move, to protect yourself, to make a quick decision to when something feels off, or to get you out of danger. So when there is danger, trust the gut instinct and get yourself safe. That's ingrained in all of us. It's a system built within us all to keep us safe. But once you're safe, this is a critical moment. That's a time to pause. Once that initial, wave passes, you've encountered something dangerous, you've gotten yourself safe. What we call, bring our body back to homeostasis. And that's the moment of pause there. Connect into your breath, come back into your body, begin to allow everything to settle back in. And if we don't take a moment to pause, what happens then is our mind starts spinning. And when our mind starts spinning, that's when the story starts to unfold. So, the story in the mind, oh my gosh, that was intense. What if it happens again, right? Oh my gosh, I could have died, right? Or maybe it's more like, what if now, what if something's going to go wrong with my body, from having to get out of danger? Like, what now? So that's when that instinct, use all of the spinning of the mind, then turns into anxiety. And that's what we don't want to be running on, right? Anxiety isn't about what's happening right now. It's about what the mind is imagining is going to happen, or what can happen later. So it's fear of the future. And that's usually built on from memories of our past, or memories of, what just happened is the past, right? So fear itself isn't bad. Fear is a messenger. So it's not bad for us. We all need to experience what fear feels like. We can't numb the fear, because fear will show up to alert us. The thing is, fear isn't meant to be in charge. And the trouble comes when we keep feeding the fear long after, say, the danger is gone. That's fear turned into anxiety. Okay, so that's what this theme is about this week, is about becoming present, right? Simply be present. Of course, if there's danger, you don't want to take the time to be present, and you'll know that, right? That's that survival instinct. Get out of danger. Get yourself safe, always. Once that then subsides, that's the time to become present. And maybe your heart might still be pounding a bit, or maybe it's hard to catch your breath. But you ground your energy and you become present. You may still feel that familiar gut instinct, right? There isn't any danger though, but you're still kind of feeling this. And that's when you pause and become present to observe your mind, right? Is it starting to replay that moment of danger over and over again in its mind? Is it starting to feed the story of, how much worse it could have been, or that you could have died, or, and then you start telling people the story, and then it even grows in intensity. So when you get to that place where you can observe your mind, you're actually watching fear turn into anxiety. And so that's a moment to go, oh, okay, it's time to pause. It's time to breathe. And this is where we have this opportunity to let intuition start to enter in. Intuition comes in when we can begin to slow down. Intuition lives in our breath. Intuition also lives in our body. Okay, so instinct lives in our body, but so does intuition, right? It lives in our heart. And we connect with that with our breath. Okay, so when we can align ourselves with the present moment, where we can realize, okay, there's no panic here to figure anything out. I don't have to fix anything. There's no rush. And we can just simply breathe and connect in with the body and connect into the heart. That's when we connect into intuition. And so that's the power of awareness. And in awareness is also where intuition lives. And awareness is always in the present moment. So it's that's what this week is about, is noticing, okay, these are my gut instincts. Okay, I get that. There is going to be fear in instincts. Always there's going to be fear in instincts. And again, knowing that fear is not a bad thing. It's a message. But am I feeding the fear now? This is the moment where everything in us can begin to shift. Because when we notice our heart is still racing, when we notice we're telling the stories, we're feeding the fear, and then that's going to be anxiety that we're going to experience. But when we tune into intuition, we realize that it's softer, it's quieter. It doesn't come with a racing heart, doesn't come with sweaty palms, it doesn't come with tight chest, right? So this is where we begin to feel into the body. Tightness in my chest, or you feel nauseous in your belly, you're having a hard time catching your breath. That is still your body responding to fear or worry, right? I'm worried about something. I'm continually worried about this thing. And in that, we think, we got to stay alert because that's our gut instinct and we need to stay alive. And there's a lot of people who may have spent most of their life only being taught how to survive, how to trust those gut instincts. And so we do want to trust our gut instinct, the initial, but that moment of realizing I'm now still continually feeding that fear and I'm living in anxiety is a moment where you can now tap in to your intuition, okay, where you can tap into that power of awareness. So really notice when something or someone has triggered a fear within you, right? And maybe it's somebody who knows how to trigger that fear response in you, or maybe it's a certain situation. It's your mind. Maybe your mind is really worried and going to worst case scenarios. And then we think, well, it's our gut instinct that is now leading us. But that is a moment where you can pause and you can feel it, feel the fear, feel it where it is in the body, and thank it, right? Because fear isn't bad. It's a messenger. Thank you for showing up. Now, this is where we notice the mind. This is where we start to notice the emotions, the stories we're telling, the fears that might be piggybacking on those stories, right? That's what we need to slow down. Okay, so yeah, we might be feeling fear. We might be very scared of something happening, but we have to realize that we're not the fear. We might be experiencing fear, but we're not the fear. Just like you might be experiencing anger, but you're not actually the anger itself. It's just an emotion that is coming up that's feeding the story. So instinct after the initial danger could be a gut feeling that is just continually feeding the fear and the worry and the story. So that's going to be anxiety, right? So when you notice that, you're like, okay, yeah, that's where I live. That's when you start to nurture more the intuition. Tune back into intuition. How? Breathe, feel your body. Let those emotions that are coming up, let fear be felt. You're not the fear. It's just an emotion that's moving through you. So let yourself feel it. Come into your heart. Again, bring the energy into the heart. That's where intuition lives. Come into the present moment. That's where intuition lives. In the moment that you're very aware that you're now telling a story, you're now tapping back in to your intuition. So there's nothing to fix, nothing to really figure out this week. What this week is about is just allowing yourself to feel and see the difference in you and your body, within you, between intuition and instinct. Okay, and that's it, right? It's like every time you return to the present moment, every time you return to your breath, every time you return to your body or your heart, it's like you're coming home to yourself. That's the power of awareness, and that is where intuition lives. Instinct is more reactive, right? It will arise from fear. You'll feel your body tighten, you'll feel it contract. Yes, thank you, instincts, if you need to get out of danger. But it's a very sharp feeling, very fast, very fear-based. Get me out of danger. Then you start to tune in. Intuition is more receptive. Come in and receive the messages from your body. It arises from the present moment. And intuition feels different in the body. Intuition feels open, but like you're lighter and grounded, kind of all at the same time. It's like once you tap into that awareness and that present moment awareness, everything feels lighter, you feel more grounded, and you feel more open. And so then you're going to get a message, not that there's danger or anything to fear. Your soul speaking to you, I'm okay. We're okay. That's where you're going to get these messages like, yeah, this feels right. And then, you go in that direction, or you'll get a little message. It's a quiet whisper. It's a knowing within, like, no, not yet. I want to wait. Okay. No fear in that. It's just a knowing. But how can we get to that place of knowing if we're stuck in the fear story and we're feeding it? You cannot get to that space of knowing when you're in a space of feeding the anxiety. So it's a shift within, yes, but this week is about being present to it. You don't want to fight the fear, right, when it comes up, but you want to pause and check in. Am I now feeding anxiety? So this week is about awareness. It's about being present and observant and going, oh, these are the different things I'm feeling in my body. Nothing to fix, nothing to really figure out. Just become aware and mindful and curious, and notice if you can feel the difference between that, sharp instinct, fear-based feeling, and if you can sense into more of a soft, clear, calm intuition. Okay, so that is our theme for the week. That's what our intention is. It's really about practicing being in the present moment and feeling what the difference is between an instinct, a gut instinct, and an intuition in your body. So enjoy the process of this, because it has many messages for all of us. So namaste, my friends. Enjoy your week of being much more aware of what's going on in the mind, the body, and the soul. Thank you.